righty, showers, thunderstorms expected today. Sort of unusual, Mark. It's been a perfect summer so far.
Well, the weekend wasn't so bad.
Yeah, well, we'll keep an eye on this weekend, although it looks like it might be a little wet. Hey, always excited to welcome a new business to the area, and Ken Boyer's joining us. Good morning, Ken. How are you this morning?
Good morning.
This is pretty exciting.
Yes, it is.
Let's talk about Penn RV Center that's now opened.
Yes, Penn RV Center is open. Their store, the service, and now about a dozen new RVs on the lot, and a few used RVs.
Very nice, a nice selection. Before we get to that, let's learn a little bit about yourself.
Well, I've been in the RV business since I was 21, which that's now a few days.
And happy birthday, by the way.
So for the past 38 years, I've been involved in all of the different aspects of the business, sales, but my focus has mainly been on service, and I'll bring service as the main topic for our business, and I really want to take care of people in the way that they want to be taken care of.
Well, what got you excited? What got you into the business?
Into the new business?
Well, let's go back to when you were 21 a couple days ago.
Oh, well, yeah, last week we.
Is it something that you want to do? Is it?
Actually, it was kind of a transition in our original family business, okay. And it just came to be. Basically, my parents. I had an uncle who was also involved in that at the time, and it just blossomed. It really took off this was in the late 70s, and it became a big deal. There were hard times, through the 80s. It had high interest rates and oil embargoes and gas prices shooting out of the air and so on. But there were also good years, and it always seemed interesting, and it's different every day.
Yeah. Well, it seems like you have a real passion for it.
Yes.
And I think that probably helps when it comes to the service part of it, as you say.
Yes. Some things can be challenging, but for the most part, I think the people that walk in your door are, they're great folks, and you just want to do things for them, and it's not I guess I don't know how to explain it. It's not like it's a fun thing.
Yeah,
it's just fun. Really, if you think about it, all we do are toys.
Fun toys.
I would imagine, if you have so much experience with this, you've probably done a great deal of trailering and rec experiences yourself too.
I get a chance a little bit, but working 6 days a week to help
it doesn't help. Yeah,
doesn't allow so much.
So it sounds like maybe you have two types of clientele. One who obviously have had the experience of owning one, and then the other first time owners. And I would imagine it's got to be a lot of fun for either group, but especially for those who are coming in for the first time, and they get to step inside.
Yeah, to see the look on their faces and hear the comments, they're blown away in some cases where they just weren't expecting as much as what's offered in different models. There's some things that are very simple, and other things are very complex, and they're gorgeous. I mean, the equipment is gorgeous.
How much has changed since you first got into this?
Oh, I'd have to say that probably the most notable change has got to be the physical size. I mean, an average travel trailer in the mid 70s was 18 to 24 feet, and now the average size is 30 to 32 foot in that area. And very, very popular. So yeah, a 32-footer back in the early areas was considered. Wow, are you kidding me?
Well, I imagine they're a lot lighter these days too, which probably contributes to the bigger size.
That they are lighter, and there's a lot of good tow vehicles available to tow them as well.
Talk about some of the common features in the models, and then talk about some of the ones that are really, really nice. They're all really nice, but the ones that are exceptionally.
Blow you away nice.
Well, our Sprinter line is our blow it away line, and they have just real comfortable sitting, full size queen bed, air conditioning, heat, microwave, a nice size refrigerator, and some models sleep up to 11. A family plus, let's call it, of 11, and there are just a huge variety of layouts, and you can choose between a fifth wheel, which is towed by a pickup truck, or a regular common travel trailer.
And they have these things called sliders too. How do they work?
Sliders are push the button. When they first came out, they were mechanical, where you actually physically had to move an arm or physically push it out and then lock it in place. But now it's all push the button.
Wow. I mean, these things, we were through them, last week, 2 weeks ago, and I mean, you're talking LED lighting, you're talking flat screen televisions, fireplaces. I mean, these things are just amazing.
It's unbelievable how they've evolved over the years. They brought all the conveniences that you would want at home. I mean, when I
kitchen islands,
island kitchen, island in the kitchen is pretty awesome with little pendant lights above and so on. But I think one of the eyebrow raisers is when I say, well, right here in the bedroom is a USB charging port for the iPads and phones and what have you. And, oh yeah, I gotta have that.
Yeah, but when you're traveling, should you put that stuff away and just enjoy where you're heading?
Well, there are certain people that do. Even my own sister. There's no television in her camper.
So, do people come back and share stories of their adventures?
Stories, pictures, all sorts of different things. The camping lifestyle is just it's such a calming effect. People look forward to that part of their life, and when fall comes around and they're like, put the camper away for winter, or some do head south. But when they're together on the weekends and they're out there barbecuing and hoisting a few and what have you, they're really enjoying each other's company, and people meet a lot of new friends in these campgrounds. And the children, all the kids, they just seem to all play together. It's like a community right in the campground.
So what's a typical season run? When do people start to say, okay, it's time to put it away?
To put it away, I would have to say almost like Halloween time, give or take. But there's a lot. Campgrounds are typically open into October and some into November, but more importantly, they're open in March.
Do you find that when folks are coming in to make a purchase, they're looking to go on little trips to start, within a certain radius of within 100 miles or a couple 100 miles, or are they getting this thing and do they want to do the cross-country trip?
Well, I encourage that shakedown trip, maybe local or something the first couple of times, but everybody has a different agenda in respect to that. I think because some people will have their camper as being a towable camper, and some people park their camper right in a campground. Those are called destination camping.
You have a big event coming up. You just opened the doors in the Titusville location. You got the big grand opening celebration. Talk about that.
Well, the grand opening is going to run from this Saturday, the 18th, through the 25th. We will have hours on Sunday as well, and extended hours during the week. And
word on the street is you're not going to sleep at all. You're going to be there.
No, there will be no sleeping. No. I'm already feeling the effect.
Yeah, that's right. Well, so folks can come out. They can welcome you. They can take a tour of the campers. They can go in and check out the store.
Yep.
There'll be lots of other things going on as well.
We'll have some refreshments. We'll have some door prizes. But mostly I just want to kind of open the doors and let people walk through all sorts of good equipment and fun toys, as I call them, and then they'll get a chance to see that we have a nice, relatively fairly stocked store right now. It keeps growing. We keep getting in more maybe niche items, if you want to call them that. And but the one of the things that I think is going to be is just making sure that they get a chance to really feel what we're about, what we're going to be doing there. And when they go through the RVs, you're going to see more than just your common travel trailers or your common fifth wheels. You're also going to see a really cool line of toy haulers. These are the it's kind of a travel trailer that you can take your motorcycles, your four-wheelers, your side-by-sides, your golf cart, and we are our company, which is called Work and Play, is one of the few companies that you can actually put a car in.
Wow. So you can take all this stuff with you.
You can take all your stuff. So the car enthusiasts will have an opportunity now to do the same thing as the bike enthusiasts.
Holy cow. Did we see that? I don't. That is really cool.
Working
and that's amazing. All right,
awesome.
We're here with Ken Boyer from Penn RV Center on Route 8 south of Titusville. This is the Morning Drill on Stream Television and the Allegheny News Talk Sports Network. 8:21 is our time. Now, you're going to be doing the service. You're going to be running around. Talk about the other smiling face when people walk into the store.
My lovely wife, Margot. She's very well educated in parts and so on, and she's learning more and more all the time because, and I try to help her out whenever I can. But
and she keeps you in check, really.
Yes, you called it.
Yeah.
And she is working super hard on learning new things because it is a business as well. I mean, you're running more than the cash register and what have you. It's a challenge, really.
So if somebody already owns a recreational vehicle, can they bring it in to you for service, or can they get parts?
No, absolutely, both.
Okay,
you can do both. Yeah, if you need parts, if you need a little help understanding something, yeah, we can help in a variety of ways.
Now, we did get a chance to see one that you had restored. I think you spent several years working on it.
Yes.
I'm sure you meet others who really enjoy spending the time fixing up either one that they've owned, or they go out, almost like a motorcycle, I'd imagine, picking one up and working on it. Do you spend a lot of time talking with folks who get to spend time maybe rebuilding one from scratch?
A little bit, and I'm even working with a local gentleman who's rebuilding a bus, a school bus.
Wow.
So he's been asking a lot of questions and so on. I've been helping him out, and but the personal unit that was restored, that 98. That was the first one we sold. I mean,
really,
it was like a little diamond sitting there, and as soon as they saw it, they knew that was theirs.
When you come out, obviously you're working with folks who are probably all have different types of budgets they deal with. Mm-hmm. So you can typically find a camper that will fit, their personal budgets. Yeah,
I'd like to say that we do offer new trailers from under $10,000. And right now up to near 50,000. So it's a huge variety. Used will be anywhere, depending on type and brand and condition and so on. They can be just from a few $100s, I guess. It is possible, up to, where's the limit?
Yeah.
I've been looking at pictures while you've been talking here. I found one of the ones that you mentioned that has the capacity to put a motorcycle in the back. That's just cool. I've never seen that before.
It's awesome. See, take your toys with you. Yeah, toys inside toys.
Oh, well, and where do I sign up?
Yeah, and before it's like, well, you take the toys, you leave the kids. Now you can take them all.
Yeah.
If you want.
Before, it used to be an easy decision because toys would win.
Absolutely, yeah. Kids, you got to stay with Grandma and Grandpa today.
Yeah, it's a bummer.
Now everything gets to go.
No wonder you have such a good time with this. I think I would be excited being around this all the time too. I mean, these are. I'm looking at some of the interiors here, and they're gorgeous. They look better than some homes I've been in. You know, they're just beautiful.
Well, sometimes you have to think about whether or not you want to go home.
I know what he's talking about. And Mark, you're not allowed over to the house anymore if that's what you're gonna.
Yeah.
Well, you're off the Christmas card too. Christmas card list too.
But you know, Mark's right. You know, again, it's that reaction when people step up into one. Mm-hmm. I think their draws probably just drop.
Yeah, there's got to be so many different things that go through their heads when, you know, how would I use this? Where would I go? And boy, my kids would just love this, and they're probably walking through and planning vacations as they go.
Well, for the folks who go camping and say, you know, camping's too much like work, this takes that excuse away right away. You know,
with anything, whether, you know, any type of recreation, there's a little bit of, you know, make ready and so on, but for the most part, it's about the relaxation and, you know, the family time.
You can see it. I mean, I'm looking at one here where, you know, there's a small dinette and the TV is built into one of the walls. The kitchen, and it has the laminate flooring. It's beautiful.
Oh yeah, absolutely, gorgeous.
So how many times does somebody come in, buy it, and then they say, now what? Can you kind of give us some advice on where we can go?
Yes, and anyone who has a campground who might be in this area, we are encouraging them to drop off literature, because I like to share that literature with all the customers that walk in a specific area in our store just for that purpose. And but there's always stories going around, and the places that I visited, I'll make recommendations depending on what the customer is looking, what type of camping they like. If they want family camping, they want it to be quiet. There's different campgrounds are, you know, they're just noted for, you know, that different styles of camping.
Now, I'm sure you've gone on a couple trips yourself over the years, or over the past week, since 21.
Yes, absolutely.
Where was your favorite place to go?
New England. My wife and I went to with the restored fifth wheel. We went to we visited her cousin in Connecticut, and then went up to Maine to visit my granddaughter and my son-in-law. I'm sorry, my grandchildren, my daughter and son-in-law, and we stayed in a small campground just near their house. And because we separated the trailer from the truck, we were able to run around and visit and so on. Following that, we moved on and we went to Bar Harbor.
Wow.
There's so many great campgrounds up along through there, and met up with some friends there, and we just had a blast. It was a good 2-week vacation.
Oh my goodness, I can hardly imagine. You must have had a wonderful time.
We had a terrific time.
Any training involved when somebody pulls up and says, you know, this is the one I want?
Absolutely, wall to wall. Any question you can think of, but the very, very first thing is we put the tow vehicle and the trailer next to each other, and we start from scratch. There's nothing you won't know about it when you're gone. We will teach you everything you need to know about that. So the education part is foremost. There's just nothing worse than just getting a new toy or getting a new new vehicle or something, and having problems with it or not understanding it.
Right.
Those things are that's just mandatory.
I remember in selling cars that we were taught how to help folks choose a vehicle to
Mm-hmm.
pull, you know, whatever it is they wanted to pull.
Right.
You know, the right kind of weight, the right kind of suspension, you know, all that kind of thing played into it.
Yes.
Plus, I imagine you probably have to have some skill in maneuvering the vehicle as well.
That's right. Yeah. It's not uncommon for me to send a newbie, if you want to call it that, a new towing person to maybe a big parking lot. Just get used to that and put some cones down and say, this is my campsite. I'm going to back it into between those two cones.
What's easier to handle when you come to these kinds of trailers, you know, for someone who may not have ever gotten into this before, what would you recommend, a fifth wheel or the more traditional tow along?
Well, not everybody has a pickup, so I find them both. I've had both, and I like how smooth and simple the hookup is, and so on with a fifth wheel. But I'd have to say I'm probably more of a trailer guy. I'd like to use the back of my truck to maybe have some firewood and so on in there, or would maybe want to change over to a Tahoe or a Suburban type of vehicle or Expedition, whatever. And I had an Expedition at one point in time and a 30-foot travel trailer, and that was a beautiful package.
Ken Boyer joining us from Penn RV Center. Ken, great to see you. Congratulations on the business, and stop on out and see you during the big grand opening.
Thank you.
All righty. Vital Look at News coming up next.